Well, hello, hello. Look at that. Welcome everybody to this live broadcast. You got Josh Cary here, founder, Pet Sittingology, and the PSO Proud movement. You know what today is? It's Tuesday. That can only mean one thing and one thing only. You are sitting in on a new episode of Tuesdays with Cary, where every single Tuesday I come to you with a new live, valuable training that you can implement and use right away in your business. Today, my goodness, today is exciting for a variety of reasons that you're quickly going to enjoy. One, this wonderful woman on the screen is my new my new partner in crime with all things, dare I say, my absolute favorite topic. You know, I'm about the SEO, the Google, the digital marketing, and all that growth. Well, this wonderful woman is literally like the female counterpart to me. You're going to hear what it was like when we first had our first phone call. It was like I was hearing the female voice echo in my ear, and I'm like, yes, that's my outlook. So long story short, she is joining me. She is joining us on this venture to better and bigger websites and SEO growth and understanding and rankings. And it's not just feeding you more information per se that you can go and do more work. We are going to take on that workload for you. That's always been my goal, my vision, but I'm only one person. But growth is here. Growth is happening. And you know who else is here? Let me bring her into the mix. It's Amy Sallie. How are you, Amy?
Hi, I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm very well. So we had our first conversation on the phone that day. And how did you feel about it?
It was amazing. It was so refreshing to hear someone speak the same language and to understand what I meant and to see someone who's so focused on helping people get the results that they really want and need for their businesses. It was very exciting.
Cool. So it's funny because I've always been on the lookout for this piece of the puzzle because, again, I'm only one person. I could only literally and physically do so much for my amazing people. And I do a certain amount, but this is really the next level. So today, I'm not only going to introduce you to Amy and we're going to chat and you're going to learn who she is and what we can do, but we're going to answer your questions. We have a handful of submitted valuable questions on SEO, and I want you to submit questions as well as you think of them and join in the conversation. So Amy, let's start from the beginning, so to speak. What world do you come from?
So I started my career in real estate management, completely unrelated, but quickly moved into marketing because it's what I went to school for. It's what I love. It's what I enjoy. And in that, I found that there's this common need, this need to get clients, this need to get leads, this need to get your brand seen, to get your business and your services and the things that you love and do and you're passionate about in front of your clients. So that quickly turned into kind of helping friends and family navigate their way around the web and building a site for myself. And ultimately, I'm now offering SEO services.
So the clients that you currently serve and you have served before I came onto your radar, what in essence do you do with them and for them? Give us some of the nitty gritty of your service and what our clients can expect as well. So what experience do you have and have you done for small business owners in your world?
So one of the first things I do is take a look at the website. I check out their website, what they have established currently, and see what they're doing that's working really well, what things are frustrated with. I like to hear the concerns and, if there's any functionality issues or things that we need to cover. But I go through page by page and comb through all the content to see what opportunities there are to improve and grow. From there, we start actually working on our SEO stuff. So we'll set up Google Analytics, Google Search Console, a Google My Business page if that's not something that's already established. And we'll just start going through each of these steps in order to create your online presence. So we'll make sure that you have like basically checked off the list of all the things that you need to accomplish, all the basics, and get your site optimized and just get you in a good place to get in front of customers.
Fantastic. And I know that everything we do in life is really about results. If you're not getting results, what's the point? And I know that because I've seen your work, I've seen the results, I've seen the reports that you provide the clients you've already served. How successful is what you do? What do you typically see from a business who says, I need to show up in Google. I have a big saturated market. I need more clients. I need my phone ringing. What kind of results can we expect have you gotten for people?
So I always say I can't promise that number one position that everyone wants. However, I have been able to get all of my clients to the first page. I mean, it takes a lot of hard work. It takes some time. It takes diligence. It takes consistency. But with that, we can get you to the first page.
I agree with that. And I'm very glad you say that you can't promise or guarantee first ranking, because really you want to be a little wary of a company or a person that says, I will guarantee you, because it's absolutely, there's never a guarantee.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
And I also love that you said that it takes a little bit of work and effort on, I think both of our parts, our part and the client part to some extent, because we might need some input and creation from them, right?
Absolutely.
Talk to me about the big three, the big Google trifecta, as I like to call it, because I know that this is a big piece of the puzzle. We have Google Analytics, we have Google Search Console, and we have Google My Business, all currently free elements that you should and could have on your website. What is the purpose of all three? Walk us through what the purpose is and what you do with that information once it's gathered.
Sure. So Google Search Analytics is what it's an actual code piece that we install on your website. And what it does is it tracks the amount of traffic that you're getting and all of the data surrounding that traffic. So it will tell you where people are located geographically. It'll tell you how they're getting to your site, if they're getting to you through social media or a direct link, or if they're finding you on Google. It will also tell you like how often they visit your site, how long they stay. It's just a great tool to better understand your current traffic. Google Search Console now is a tool that actually allows you to work on your SEO. So there's something where you can request indexing, and that's an amazing thing that so many people don't even realize is there. But what it does is it allows you to actually say, hey, Google, like I updated my site. Can you come check it out now? So it allows you to speed things up without having to wait on the Google search bots to find you. It also provides super valuable information for the actual search terms. So you can see where you're currently ranking, what you can actually learn from Google and say, hey, these are the keywords that I'm ranking for. So that will tell you if the current website content is on point, or if you need to redirect a little bit, because sometimes I find with clients, like you love talking about your hobbies, or, you want to make that personal connection. However, it's throwing the Google search bots off a little bit. So we need to redirect and focus a little bit and just make sure that you're providing Google and your users with appropriate information that will help your SEO efforts and get you ranked higher. Now, the Google My Business page is actually like a directory right within Google it's an amazing resource. It allows you to list your address, list photos, list all of your business details, your hours that you're open, your website link, and you can even get reviews. So the really cool thing about Google My Business is that it shows up at the top of Google's search results above every SEO ranking. Like this is for local SEO, but if there's a local business, it's going to show up above the rest. So you need to make sure that we have that Google My Business page, and all three of them work together to get your site ranked. So there's not one that is necessarily more valuable than the other, and there's never one that I would leave off the table. Like you mentioned, they're all free. So they're all things that we should be taking advantage of, and we should maximize their absolute fullest in order to get your site ranked to the top and to get you in front of customers.
Yeah, I completely agree with all of that. And what I always tell my industry here is that all three of these, like you said, are going to show you different pieces of the puzzle. And we're here to help you understand because, yeah, anybody can theoretically log into their Google Analytics and then say, oh my goodness, what do I do with all this information? There's so much data that will help you navigate and understand what you should focus on, what makes sense, what you can ignore, what is relevant and what not. Because at the end of the day, Google is not quiet or shy about letting business owners or webmasters know what they value, what they're looking for, what they want. And it's all sort of hidden in plain sight, if you will, in Google Analytics, Google Search Console, and Google My Business. I love that you said that they all work hand in hand, providing different pieces of the puzzle. Let me ask you about keywords, because that always seems like if somebody claims that they don't know a lot about SEO, chances are they know keywords or they think that that's a big part of it. But there's so much around that word. And certainly today, there's a lot of differences on how to use and implement keywords on your posts and on your pages versus how it was even a couple years ago and certainly 5 years ago, where the game was just get your keywords in as many places on that page as you can, pepper it through often, stuff it in, and that ultimately wound up backfiring. So what do you think we need to know about keywords and our use of it today?
So keywords are amazing tools, but like you said, the game has changed and we have to work them into our content. We can't be spammy. We definitely don't want to just have a post that appears, like someone just logged in and typed a bunch of keywords. We want your content to read naturally. We want it to have a flow so that users find it useful and so that the Google search bots will say, hey, yeah, this is legit. Like this is a real business and we'll support them through boosting their rankings. Now, the nice thing is that there are so many different ways to use keywords on a website that you don't have to be spammy. Like it can be a little tough sometimes to kind of get used to the flow and how you should use them with the meta titles and the descriptions. But once you kind of get the hang of it, you'll realize that you can actually produce great content, plug keywords appropriately, and get the results that you want.
You said create great content. How important is that?
Vital. Absolutely vital. I mean, content is, you can read everywhere. Content is the king and the king and the king and the king. So you want to make sure that the content on your website is accurate in terms of describing your business, your services, and also serving your audience in a way that helps to educate and even entertain if possible, and keep them coming back to read more.
Yeah, I read a quote in a book recently that just sort of, bluntly put it into perspective. He said, if you want a following, and this could be on any, whether it's social or even in Google, if you want a following, don't be boring. And that's really what it comes down to. I mean, none of us, our egos might get in the way, but really that's it. I operate that way. You operate that way. Everybody watching in operates that way. You're just not attracted to something you find boring or uninteresting. So we have to find a way to engage our users through your written word. And I always talk about the fact that you are more extraordinary than you give yourself credit for. You have all of the information in your head. You don't have to figure out what to write about. It's already there. We just have to help you focus that and get it out on the paper. And you also know we have a whole blog writing division now through Lauren that we're excited to have launched. So we got you covered even there. If you just have the topic, we can help you write it. Now with Amy here, we can help you take everything you have on your website and really put an SEO program and strategy in place. We right now are developing some specific options, everything from a really intense one-on-one ongoing program with you so we can focus on, like Amy does and has done for her clients, now she's going to do with me and with you, to a group setting where we all meet once a week or what have you, ongoing, so everybody can see results. Because again, that's the bottom line. We want to give you results.
Absolutely.
Tell me again, Amy, when you work with a client typically, so somebody comes to us, one of our amazing clients here, and says, yes, help me. I need this. I need to rank higher in Google. I need to get my phone ringing. Where does that process begin?
Process begins with a phone call to figure out your goals. So obviously phone ringing is number one goal, right? But we also want to understand what is unique about you, what your unique strengths are, and what issues that you feel you're facing, what questions you come up against in your area and with your clients that if you had a constant answer for, or if you were able to convey a little better, maybe that it would break down that barrier to actually converting and being a new client of yours. So after we understand exactly what your needs are, then we can move on to the website review, where we get your website squared away and in order and fully optimized, and get all of the Google 3 lined up, and start monitoring where your rankings are at. Now, one of the biggest things with that, though, is that it's not a once and done deal. So unfortunately with SEO, it's something that you have to continue working on and you have to continue evolving with, because it's easy to rise up against your competition if they're not doing anything. But once someone else starts doing something and the game starts changing a little bit, you really need to make sure that you're staying on top of things. So we'll watch your reports. Typically we do monthly reports, and we'll watch and see how your rankings are adjusting and see what we can fix to do better the next month. So I like to see month over month growth, both in your rankings, watching your individual rankings go up for your keywords, but also in your overall website traffic.
How long does a typical initial phone call or strategy call or discovery call, whatever we call it, with somebody who wants to take these first steps, how long do you typically want on the phone with them during that first phone call? 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Shouldn't take any more than that. Yeah. One of the questions that I got was I know Rita is right here tuning in. I can tell you, Rita is a very successful pet sitting business owner. She happens to be cat specific, cats only, and she is like literally Rita is one of my favorites. She knows that, and she owns that space. She has a huge reputation in the cats only. She has a multi-city location. She's in Beverly Hills, Los Angeles area. Now she's on the East Coast, and I know she wants to expand to a couple of other locations. One of her questions always is how in the world, because she has one physical place of business. Her question is, how do I continue to grow or expand into new markets, new territories, new cities, new areas where I do not reside? So the number one way to do that is through content on your website. So you can write a blog post or create new pages that introduce your services to those areas. You can continue developing the fact and supporting the fact that you're working in those areas. So for example, maybe on one page you'll just say, hey, I'm now serving this city. Awesome. And then in another blog post, you can connect that together and tie that together and say, list some of your favorite spots to walk a dog. Maybe that doesn't work with the cats, but your favorite things about working in those areas. So it's primarily content. Sure. But you can also work in your Google My Business page and work on it that way as well. Yeah. Rita wrote that she hates that page. I wonder if she's talking about the Google My Business page. One of the things we will absolutely help you with and offer is to make sure your Google My Business page is accurate, updated, and complete. Is that true, Amy? Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. We want to make sure that it is on point. Correct. On point. I love it. And I have a whole video that I will certainly extract and tie into this one soon enough. But I have a whole video on, Amy's gone. She'll be back. I have a whole video on how you rank. Literally, the topic is 45 minutes of me detailing strategy and specifics, how you rank in a different city location. Or if you're in this area, even unlike you, Rita, if you're, you want to do multiple places around the nation, but somebody might just want to expand from their current town to a surrounding town. How do you do it? Same rules, same strategies. I have a whole video that I'll be happy to share that just sort of supports what Amy says and details that kind of stuff, which is, yes, it's around content, but more specifically, it's about using the area to your advantage. So for example, you're going to create pages or a series of pages that highlight your involvement in these areas. So I know that you are in Charlotte, one of them, for example, Charlotte, North Carolina. So you're going to want to talk about the specific clients that you have in Charlotte. Take one. Hello, welcome back. Everything cool?
Yes, thank you. Sorry about that.
No problem whatsoever. So you're going to want to take, I was just expanding on, how to rank in areas you don't live and to support what you were saying. So in Charlotte, you don't live there, let's say, but you want to now serve that adjacent neighborhood from where you are. So you have to get very comfortable with talking and serving that location. For example, taking a client that you serve in there and writing about them, talking about them, what happened with that cat in the Charlotte area.
Yes.
Is there a pet store in that area that you can talk about, that you can interview, that you can showcase, that you can highlight? So you want to take reviews and testimonials from those clients. You want to do Q&As with those clients. You want to talk about areas. If you are if you are walking dogs, where's the greatest place to walk a dog? What are dog friendly areas? What are cat centric areas? What's great about that area for owning a cat? And you want to get reviews from those people and extract them and write about them and do case studies, anything and everything you can to embrace that area legitimately with value, and slowly but surely that will help you rank there.
So one of the things that you mentioned that I love is the reviews. That's such a vital part of ranking, but also building your business. Mm-hmm. There's nothing like a firsthand review. There's nothing like someone being willing to say, hey, this person came and took care of my pet and they cared for my animal in the way that I would have. I feel so comfortable leaving my home, going on vacation, doing what I have to do, and knowing that my pet is being loved and taken care of. There's nothing like that can impact your score. I mean, it will help you move up the rankings with Google, especially for my Google business page. If they leave a review on there, like it's golden. Yes. But there's nothing like a solid review. So that's something that I think when businesses can get in a good practice of asking for review, it can actually change the dynamic of their growth and change how they get in front of customers.
And this will certainly be an aspect of what we collectively offer you watching. Rita wrote a couple of things I want to touch on. She wrote, because we're actually building Rita's new site right now, especially for Charlotte. She wrote, we need to grow Charlotte badly or we'll end up dropping it. So duly noted, Rita. Amy and I, after this call, will I'll fill her in specifically because I want that to be the initial focus for you. So we'll make sure that that's our focus for you. I think that that's the best bet. And we would all agree on that, right? Helping her grow her Charlotte. And again, Rita, to her advantage, she's already well established with her personal brand as a cat behaviorist and her California, Beverly Hills or Los Angeles area is already established. She just wants to connect them to and grow Charlotte. So Amy, that'll be one of our first projects with Rita in regard to where she needs to be.
That's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Consider that done, Rita. She also said it's hard to get people to write Google reviews. We have a ton on Yelp. So interesting. Any thoughts on that, Amy?
So Yelp is awesome also. However, we prefer to have on Google just because that's where people often search. there are different ways to ask for a review. You can use follow-up emails. Like there are a number of methods, which we can go through another time and help you with specifically, Rita. But there are a number of ways to continue asking. And often all people need is that follow-up, because they may miss the first ask, but that doesn't mean they don't love you. That just means that they were busy at the moment that they heard your question, and they weren't able to get to it, or they didn't have the words to say at the moment. But keep asking. Don't be afraid to ask, especially when you know that you've done an incredible job and that they keep coming back to you. Don't be afraid to ask. And one of the things that we can do to make it even easier is, on top of like an email, a follow-up, is to have it on your website. Have a link. Here's where you can leave a business review for me on Google. We can purposely direct them where we want them to leave the review.
Love it. And I have a blog post already written that gives you a direct link through a little like program. You type something in there, and it'll pump out a short direct link to your Google page. So when they click on it, it'll literally pop up the review box. So we'll certainly link to that around this video too, because that's helpful. So cool stuff. Let me get the other questions out here. We have a couple more. Lauren asks, this is a great question for you, Amy. Lauren asks, I'm already #1 on Google for my service in my area. Thanks, Josh. Well, you're welcome. It's always good to hear a nice compliment. What can I do now? Or what should I focus on now? Very great question. So, Amy, what do you say? She's already #1, seemingly for 1 or 2 or 5 keywords for her service. Where should her focus now be?
So there are a couple of things. First, you can expand your keywords. If you're already at the top, obviously you want to maintain those positions. So don't forget about them. Don't just set them to the side, but you can continue expanding. So if you have moved to the top for dogs, but you really want to move into cats, go ahead. Start working on that area. At the same time, you can look at your website and see where there are opportunities maybe to increase conversions. So if your goal is to build your business and you know that you're already at the top of Google, the rankings, we then want to get that traffic to actually convert to customers. So I would take a look at where your website may have opportunities for you to improve that, where you can cut down on the number of clicks in order to reserve your services or contact you easier. Maybe you need a contact form on every single page, or maybe when you first set up, there's something that you really didn't have the time, or you didn't have the expertise, or you hadn't nailed down your niche yet to figure out exactly where you wanted to be. Start focusing on those areas to help increase your conversions, and then, grow from there.
I love it. Again, it's like hearing a female voice of me echoing me. I love it. 2 things you said there. One was that you certainly don't want to forget the original keywords, but something I want to follow up on that is the idea of momentum. So it's great because once you do get into a groove here, and once you do get over that initial hump, because look, I get it. Nobody wants to write. Nobody wants to blog. Nobody wants to create content. Are you kidding me? Nobody wants to do that. But here's the amazing thing. It's not about blogging, writing, creating content. It's what that result will afford you. What is that little bit of effort going to do for you? What's the result? What's the cause and effect that's getting you? Again, writing, come on, who wants to do that unless you're a writer or an author? I don't love writing, but I love communicating. I love sharing valuable knowledge and insight. And I like impacting the people who care to listen to what I say. So the only way I can do that, aside from video, is to write. And by doing that, you're slowly but surely going to build momentum on itself. I promise you. I always hear, nobody reads what I write, or who's going to care? Who's going to read it? It doesn't matter. Here's the thing. For the first week, month, year, whatever that you write, it's not for anybody else to read. It's not for your audience. It's not for Google. It's for you. It's going to take you a little bit of time to get your voice, to understand what works and what doesn't. And guess what? When you put something out that gets little to no traction in the beginning, that doesn't mean that it failed or that nobody cared. That's great. That's one you put aside, because after one, then you're going to have 2 pieces and 3 pieces and 10 pieces. Right now, I have a couple of 100 posts on pet sittingology. Did I start that way? No. Go back to my videos, or don't really, because boy, did I look wild and crazy. I don't even know who I was at that point. My hair, my tone, but I was learning, right? On the job training. I had my first article. I had my second article. Did anybody read those? Of course not. But when I had 10, 20, 50, 100, now people start paying attention, and it all ties into my common theme that I'm creating here, and it works. And then Google and your audience, more importantly, will take a look, because never lose sight of the fact that this is only about serving the human audience, which is all Google is looking for. We're not making Google happy. Google is taking a look how you are serving your human audience. So just get comfortable with that. And again, we have a whole blogging and writing division now, so we're more than happy to help you with that. We have Amy Sallie here, who's helping with all of this SEO finally, right? To get you into a specific strategy with us where we hold your hand. Again, this is not about giving you more work to do. We want to train you and educate you with the knowledge. We want to inspire you. We want to give you the tools to succeed. But we're going to take on a lot of it. We're going to tell you what's happening, show you what needs to be done. We'll do as much as we can. You'll do what you can or want to do. We'll meet in the middle, and great things will occur. So the momentum aspect is fantastic, that slowly but surely this will build on itself. It's not one thing you can do and you're done. It's multiple consistent things you can do to make your audience happy.
Absolutely.
The other thing I love that you said was about building conversion. I hear all the time, Josh, I need help. I'm not ranking in Google. Nobody's calling me. I need help. So whenever I hear that, one of 2 things are happening and need to be evaluated. First, we need to determine, 1, are you not showing up in Google for your chosen key phrases? Are you not showing up and somebody has the opportunity to even visit your site? Because that takes a specific thing to overcome. Or is the issue, yes, you're actually ranking for certain key phrases and people are actually visiting your site, but as Amy put it, you need to build conversion. So is the problem that when people are on your site, they're not taking action and getting in touch? That takes a whole new strategy. So first, we're going to look at that, if that's the problem, and say, all right, is it A or is it B? And for example, if it's people are on your site, which is a whole part of this, you can't just think, oh, I got to rank, because what happens on your website is a huge part of this ranking game and is going to determine how and where you rank. So we need to determine, are your calls to action in the right place? Is your menu set up properly? Is anything confusing about your site? I look at sites all day that I just have to take a step back and say, I don't even understand what they're trying to say here. I don't even get what that means. Or I'll see a menu item that is just so arbitrary that I don't know what to expect if I click on that. And guess what? If a user is confused, they're not clicking. You have anything to add to that, Amy?
I think you covered it pretty solid.
Excellent. Let me see. There was another thing here about, oh yeah, so we're talking about local SEO, right?
Yes.
Everyone here is a local service provider with that one goal to serve their community. What things, when you do an initial SEO audit, what are some of the first things you're looking for to see if they have in place on the page. Now, this is beyond the Google trifecta, Google Analytics, Google Search Console, and Google My Business. What are you taking notes on, or what's in your pecking order there that is of the most important thing to do for a local service provider? What should they and must they have in place?
So for a local service provider, we want to look at the title tags. We want to look at the meta titles. We want to look at each page, the main pages of the website, how they are structured. Does it make sense? Are they in a proper hierarchy that helps guide traffic along the way? We want to make sure that the content within those pages actually matches the way they're titled. We're not looking to just get clickbait here. We want like real legitimate traffic that's there for the reason. And we want to make sure that something, this sounds really silly, okay, but something that's often left out is an address. People often don't have their addresses, and it's because they either work from home or they're just not comfortable. They're concerned about security issues or something like that. And trust me, I totally get that. However, need to find a way around that. So we either need a PO box, we need a virtual office, we need something. We need an address and a phone number, because those two things are like total legitimacy gold when it comes to Google. They say, okay, all right, if you're willing to share a mailing address and you're willing to share a phone number, then that's got to be something, at least a step in the right direction. So we have to go through the basic elements of the site and make sure that those are covered first.
Now, what you're talking about are citations. So you have your name, your business name, your address, and your phone number. Those three things should best practice be across the footer of every of every page, because what Google's looking for is consistency, and they're going to take that and they're going to match it to what's in their Google My Business page. And they're also going to look around the web for other citations, as they're called. So the more relevant places you have a listing for your name, address, and phone number. Now, you don't have to go crazy and start signing up for every free one, because there is a level of importance to these. Some sites are weighted heavier and given more validity, because all Google wants to see is that you are actually operating that business in that truthful way from that truthful place. A PO box, just so you know, is actually no. Google doesn't want to see the PO box. They want to see, because anyone can then mimic that and take it, and you can actually get a PO box and not live in that location. So they require that real physical address. And again, like you said, Amy, I hear it all the time too from our industry. Oh, no. I don't want to put my address because of safety reasons, or I don't need. Fine. Two things I say about that. One, if you choose, it's your choice, right? If you're like, no, I don't want to put my address, fine. If you choose not to put your real physical address for whatever reason, just understand that there is something you might be sacrificing. And if you're willing to go along with that and say, fine, I'm willing to make that sacrifice in exchange for whatever consequence may or may not come, but that's where I want to go, fine. Or I always say, if you're thinking you don't want to put your address on your page for safety reasons, I always say, where there's a will, there's a way. If you were to simply Google your name or your business name or your website name, my point is that whether you realize it or not, your home address is out there so easily accessible. Now, this isn't to scare you. This is only to give you a true, accurate impression of what choices you could be making for yourself. Your home address, your phone number is already out there to people who can just Google certain things. It's not difficult. A lot of this is public information without our knowledge. Your domain name has plenty of contact information attached to it. There are some white pages or business pages. Again, just Google your name, and see what's out there. And I'm sure you'll be a little surprised of what's already accessible. But again, it's your choice. Just know that Google does want to see an accurate and true business name, address, and phone number. And if you say, no, I'm not comfortable, that's absolutely fine. There just might be a bit of sacrifice, but we can always overcome what we can overcome. We're just giving you absolute best practice.
Very good point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because Google is, I'm reading what Rita wrote, Google is going to send you, once you sign up for Google My Business and put your address in there, they're going to send you a postcard to verify that you're actually in that location. All right. So here we are coming up on the 40-minute mark. I think we got a ton of information out. Again, I hope this is helpful in a few ways, just giving you a generalized overview of the SEO game. And it's Amy Sallie over here. Look at that. She's one of us now. She's on our team. We're here for you. We're going to build some incredible things together. Again, whether it's one-on-one working with you very intensely over the course of time, or you want to come into a group strategy session and meet every week where we give you some tools, some tips, some knowledge, some insight, and we give you reports and we help you analyze, right, Amy? We help you determine what this report means. It's tell me, what are some of the things in the report that they could potentially get?
So one of the main things you'll see is your traffic, how much traffic you're getting, and a little insight as to how they're getting there, how long they're staying on your page, what pages they visit while they're there, which is actually super insightful. So you mentioned previously, as you're building momentum, that some of your initial pages may not get the traffic you expect them to. However, as some of your clients I know are already have mastered certain areas and they're ready to grow, knowing which pages of your site get the most content and which get the least will actually tell you where to invest your time and where you should put your efforts. Because if you know for a fact, like let's pretend that you love, I don't know, you love feeding fish and that's your favorite thing, but nobody's visiting your site to feed fish. They want you to take care of their cats and their dogs and the animals that need your love and attention. We would recommend that you not focus on content for feeding fish. We would recommend that you make choices otherwise. So it'll tell you which pages are getting traffic and which areas of your business are most likely to have the greatest opportunities to grow, and which areas your clients want to see. As you continue building that content on your site, you'll be providing helpful tips, and you'll know which pages and posts that your clients love the most. So on top of that, I'm sorry, do you have something to add?
No. Well, of course I do. Go ahead. I'm eating it. Go.
Okay. So on top of that, you'll also see where your website traffic is coming from, which is huge. So you'll know how much organic traffic you're getting from Google. You'll know how many people are visiting from Facebook that are following your links, or Instagram. So you'll see how much your efforts are paying off. That's a really nice feature, something that I enjoy seeing specifically for my business and for my clients is, are their efforts worth it? They want to know, like, some things take a lot of time to manage, and there are money that they're putting into it, and they want to know, is it worth my investment? Is it worth my time? So you'll see where your traffic is coming from and how people are getting to your site. You'll also see, especially in this local SEO game, you'll also see where your site visitors are. Where is your audience geographically? Because that will tell you, are you reaching the people you need to? And also, is there an untapped market that you might be able to reach? Are there people in the city over that are visiting your site all the time, but you didn't even realize might be interested in your services? So this is awesome. It's just super insightful. It's good to know. And the information can be used in a way that will help you make solid decisions for your business in the future. But one thing is, I don't want people, sometimes when you see these reports, they can be very overwhelming. There's numbers, there's graphs, there's all kinds of arrows and charts. But I want you to know that we're here to walk you through it. We'll help you understand. We're not just going to send you this report and say, have a nice day, happy month, enjoy yourself. We'll teach you how to read these core reports, which areas you should focus on, which areas you can just kind of throw out the window and not worry about, and how to use this information to your benefit. So don't be afraid to see this data and ask questions. Keep asking questions until you understand, and then you'll get used to it, and you'll know what to look for when you get your updates, and you'll know where to spend your time.
One of the things in the reports that you had already shown me, I've seen a couple of reports that you've done for clients in your past. And one of the things that I was so impressed with is the section that talks about the keywords we're targeting and month to month, the Google ranking of each keyword. And without fail, it was literally like you took them from obscurity on many, many occasions to just, like you said, first page, fifth position, third position, second position, one position.
Yeah.
So this is part of the report and part of what you and I collectively help them achieve through strategy implementation. Yes?
Yes, absolutely. So that's actually the first page of the report, because I want you to know SEO. I mean, there's so many factors that come into all of this. Like,
Exactly.
I wish I could just wave a magic wand and send everyone 1,000 customers today. Unfortunately, that's not something that I have the skills to do yet, but I'm working on it. In the meantime, though, something that is tangible that we can track our efforts and we can see how well we're doing is by monitoring your keywords. So in that initial call, when we first talk about your goals and where you want to be and how you want to rank, we'll establish a list of keywords that you want to focus on. And we'll track those along the way in order to see how you're improving. So we'll know, I mean, I'll be honest with you, a lot of my clients, when I first get them, they're like, hey, either they have no idea what SEO is, but they know they need to get their site to rank, or they have tried and read tutorials and watched YouTube videos, and they're just like, it's not working for me. So they're often not even found. Like my typical reports start like within the top 10 pages of Google, and most aren't found there. So we have to get them from like, can't find you on a Google search to first page. And that's what you'll watch over time. Like we talked about, it does take time, unfortunately, but it can be done. And we'll monitor the process along the way, and you'll be able to see how it's working. You'll see the results in your hand. You'll be able to print it out and say, okay, I wasn't found. Now I'm on the 9th page. Oh, I moved up to 5. Like it's actually pretty exciting once you get into it. I kind of get a little nerdy about this stuff, but that's okay. You know, it's exciting stuff.
My kind of person. The everybody tuning in, we want to help you get started immediately, which is why we have a page set up on the website for you to fill out this short little form, which is basically going to get you a discovery call with Amy and I. Okay, so that's the first step. Go to the website, psoseo.com. It's that simple. That's going to direct you to a form on our website there that you just fill out and get the ball rolling for this discovery call. And what's going to happen is shortly thereafter, we'll send you a link to our calendar of availability so you can schedule that block of time with a phone call. And we can sit and we can chat and we can discuss one-on-one with you, because that's what it's about. Everybody's coming with different insight, different goals, different needs. Some are ranking, but want to take things in a slightly different direction. Some are not getting the results at all. So we have to start somewhere else. But a phone call is the only way we can together get on the page, figure out the best game plan for you, and move forward. So go to psoseo.com and you'll see the little piece of information with the form. You submit that, and before too long, you're going to get a link to our calendar to schedule and block off that 20 or 30-minute phone call, whatever it is. And that's going to be our time to really get together, strategize, figure out where you're coming from, what you think you're looking for, what we know we can help with. We'll meet in the middle. We'll put a legitimate, definitive plan together on that call. So you'll know what's possible. You'll know what your options are, what can be expected, what should be expected, and how to get the ball rolling. Okay? Because this is it. Amy Sallie here is with me. She's with us. We're all in this together now. Am I right?
You're right.
I am right.
I'm excited.
I'm excited too. Like I said, from our very first phone call, we have not let up, me and Amy, and it's led to this, which is going to lead to everything that we have planned from this point forward. And it is all so good. We're all in this together. You know, I love nothing more than this kind of conversation and bringing on great people like this woman. She's great people. I hope you see that. I think you see that. And you're great people. I love you. I love working with you. I love helping you in any regard. It's so good. Any final words of wisdom, Amy Sallie?
Sign up for your call. I'm excited to get on the phone and start talking to people and working with you to improve your rankings and get your businesses growing.
Absolutely. And of course, Amy is also in our private Facebook group. So she'll be participating anytime it's appropriate and probably when it's not appropriate. Who knows? Whatever. There are no rules. It's all good. Everybody's on board. All right. So there you go. PSOSEO.com. We'll give you that link. Any questions? We're only here to help. You know that. Amy, thank you for joining us on camera today. Everybody tuning in, thank you for spending your time. I hope you're excited. Go visit that page. Set up your discovery call. Let's chat. Have a great day, everybody. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.